We've been working on a simplified process for making Storm at Sea. When we look at the block, we can see that it's made up of square and a square, in a small and a large, and a horizontal and a vertical diamond in a rectangle. By assembling the quilt in columns, we found that we can not only get bigger blocks, but we can simplify the construction process for putting the entire quilt together. But that's not what this video is really about. This video is about a new joining technique where we use continuous backing and batting strips, so when we're finished, there's no need to join the backing between the blocks, and the only things that need to be done outside of the hoop are to join the rows together. I think you're going to be excited when you see how much this new process simplifies the final construction process of your quilts. I just finished using our thread tacking process to align the string of finished blocks with the quilt block that I've been working on in the hoop. Now that the blocks are joined together, it's time to align our backing and batting so that we can continue on with the decorative quilting stitches. In order to use the continuous batting and backing process, we're going to introduce a few new concepts. The first is that we're going to make a slit through our stabilizer at the same time we trim our seam allowance. So I've aligned the 1/4 inch markings on my ruler with the seam that I have just stitched, and I'm going to rotary cut through all layers, causing the fabric to be trimmed and the stabilizer to be slit. The next step in this process is to thread the batting and the backing through the slit that we've just created. And you're going to want to make sure that you cut a slit that was wide enough for your backing to pass through. You're going to pull the batting and the backing through until it stops. And then you're going to flip the string backwards. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to introduce some tension to both the string and the continuous batting and backing strips by using some binder clips. As we get ready to do this, I want you to just take a quick look at what happens if you pull too hard on the continuous strip. What happens is you start to create a buckle where your quilt blocks were joined. So that's a situation you want to avoid by not pulling too hard. By flipping back our front pieces, we can check to make sure that we've actually got our batting lined up with the stitched guides. Once the batting is positioned on both sides, we'll bring the batting and the backing forward and secure it with a binder clip. Then fold the fabric back out of the way. We're going to repeat the process by folding the bottom edge under and securing it with another binder clip. At this point, you can tell that we pretty much have restabilized our assembly, and we're ready to return the assembly to the hoop and stitch out our decorative quilting stitches. I've just finished adding my decorative quilting stitches to the 4th block in my column. I'll turn the assembly over so I can trim the right side of the block I just finished. That's going to prepare the string to be joined to the next block. So a simple cut through the stabilizer to free the back. Next, I'll flip the backing out of the way so that I can see the original anatomy of the quilt block that was stitched out in color change 1. I'll carefully fold the backing and batting out of the way. I'll align my acrylic ruler so that the 1/4 inch line is on the outermost stitched guide. I'll take my rotary cutter and slice right along the ruler's edge. Next, I'll lift the bottom, align my ruler on the outer 1/4 of an inch line, and trim. My string is now finished and ready to be joined to the next block. We don't need to worry about our backing at this point because we will trim that as we assemble our rows. I've just finished piecing the first block in the column that I'm working on, and I'm getting ready to attach my continuous backing strip and my continuous batting strip. I've cut my batting strip to be the same width as the quilt block and about 3 inches longer than the row. I've cut my backing strip to be 1.5 inches wider than the quilt block and about 3 inches longer than the row. We're going to go ahead and attach the backing and the batting. We center the batting over the backing, and we use our stitched guides to tell us exactly where we want our placement. So we're going to turn this over, and we're going to begin our alignment about 1.5 inches lower than the outer guide, and line the batting up with the 2 edges and smooth towards the top. I will secure the bottom of the batting and the backing with a couple of strips of transparent tape. I'll secure the top of the continuous batting and backing with a binder clip. Once the binder clip's in place, fold the batting so that it's out of the way, and then I will return to my machine, put my hoop back in, and stitch out the decorative quilting stitches. The only time we need to worry about securing the backing and the batting with the transparent tape is on the first block of every row or column, since there is no other quilt block to be joining. Plans change, and if you decide as you're working on your quilt that you're going to add more blocks to it, you can easily accommodate them by adding a second piece of batting that's the same width as the first and attaching the 2 pieces together with a strip of heat press batting together. And to lengthen the backing, all you'll need to do is cut another strip the same size that's the length that you need and join it with a 1/4 of an inch seam. Give the new continuous batting and backing process a try and see how much it speeds up the final steps of constructing your quilts. All of our releases from 2014 forward will include instructions for using continuous batting and backing strips. Modifying our older releases for use with the continuous batting and backing process is a simple 2-step process. In step 1, you'll omit the process where you're instructed to insert the batting as you begin your quilt block. In step 2, you'll resequence the joining of the quilt block so that it occurs just before the decorative quilt stitches are added.